Jake, HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing.
You ain't shit.
It actually amazes me to the point of how people really think they understand boxing. And the point I try to make is, if you haven't watched, I'm gonna say something. History is about patterns, right? You can predict the future by understanding history. And that's true about anything. That's true about politics. By studying the past, you can understand the future, right? By studying past fights, right? The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, right? By studying past fights, by seeing certain certain actions that have been done in the past, right? It's not the first time a smaller fighter has gone up. And if you have an understanding of combat sports, right, and if you also did combat sports, that's why I think the best boxing commentators, the best people that talk about boxing are actually people that are involved in the sport or were involved in some type of martial art of some sorts. I was involved in wrestling. And if you know my story, at freshman year, I was weighing 179 pounds. And I went up to 220 pounds because I didn't have a spot. The guy at 180 beat me by a point. He was a senior. Shout out to him. If he's watching this video, drop the comment, because that'd be crazy. You know you are. At Gilroy High School when I wrestled with Daniel Cormier. But it's just crazy. People don't realize that there's just as much as an advantage of going up and being the more skilled fighter, the more skilled athlete, because at the smaller weights, you have to be more skilled. You have to move. But sometimes, don't get me wrong, when you're wrestling or when you're wrestling heavyweight, there's a certain style and technique to that. But the point I'm trying to make, everybody focuses on the weight bullet. I want to be too big for the weight class. I want to be huge for the weight class. I want to push people around and I want to dominate. But you're also putting yourself in a position where you're dehydrated, right? You're also putting yourself in a position where you're not well fed and you don't have the nutrition to be able to fight and you're not feeling good. You're sucked up, right? So there's a con to everything. But looking at the patterns that were leading up to the Terrence Crawford versus Canelo fight, looking at what Terrence Crawford was doing, I didn't see not one con. First of all, Crawford was not shorter than Canelo. He wasn't shorter than Canelo. He had a 5-inch reach advantage. He just was weight-wise, muscle-wise, smaller. But he also has a lanky frame, which was perfect to put on that muscle, as we saw hence yesterday. It just was perfect. The lean muscle that he had, oh my goodness. And I'm not gonna lie, when I watched the Madrimov fight, I was a little bit worried. I was a little bit worried that the weight gain might not transfer to the upper weight classes. But some things take time. Something take processes, right? And I heard that Terrence took that fight on short notice. Something take times, and the calculation, it's like you have a recipe, right? And all the ingredients have to come together perfectly to make a cake. And that's what happened this last weekend. All the ingredients came together perfectly. I told everybody, I said he has the frame for the muscle. He's actually built the muscle. This is not building bodybuilding muscle. This is athletic trainers. This is the perfect trainers to build explosion and speed, so he keeps his speed, his power, so that he can have punch resistance, all these different things. And another thing, Terrence Crawford has a chin, an iron chin. He's been knocked down and got up and just, I swear, he just want to say, you hit him, he's going to come back 10 times harder. And Canelo found that out the hard way this weekend. He felt that power. And another thing I want to add is that Canelo got wobbled. Another thing I want to add is Canelo got wobbled, bro. See, that's another thing people don't realize, and I've noticed this. This is looking at patterns of fighting. You got to understand fighting. You got to watch it, understand the patterns of fighting. Let's look at Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, right? The first fight, Tyson Fury was technical. He's like, this guy doesn't know how to box. I'm going to beat him at boxing. But he held back on throwing these hard punches so he wouldn't leave himself exposed to Deontay Wilder's right hand. But once he tasted that power and realized that he could take it, and he wasn't scared or fearful of it, he came forward, and what did he do in the second fight? Dribble him off the canvas, as my good friend Showbiz would say, right? Dribbled him off the canvas. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that people don't realize is that I think that Terrence is holding back. I think if Terrence would have fought a second time, because he's tasted that power, he knows what he's dealing with. It's like you spar somebody one time, it's like, second time, you know exactly, third time, you know who they are, you know how to beat them. And that's what would happen. I think Terrence Crawford could knock out Canelo 100%. 130%. But nevertheless, he fought a beautiful fucking fight. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Man, Terrence needs to be studied. Terrence needs to be watched. Terrence needs to be given his accolades. And I wonder what's next for Terrence. That's my question. I could see him retiring now. I could see it being like that, but at the same time, Terrence is, there's something else in the bag. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if he should go back down. I think he's great for the weight class. He should stay at that weight class and defend the title and beat everybody. Right? I don't want to go up anymore. I feel like that's a little too much. But we never know. Maybe a David Benavidez fight is there. He beat his brother, Jose Benavidez. Now he could beat David, right? But I don't know if David wants any of that smoke. And what's next for Canelo? To prove himself, he should start doing the fights that everybody wants. If I were Canelo, I would go train with Crawford. I would learn everything. That's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to pull an Apollo Creed and go train with the person that beat you. That's how you get better. So I hope that Canelo comes back from this loss. And honestly, congrats to Canelo, man. He took that loss and he said something that stuck with me. He said, man, I won. I have the victory because I got my family and I got the people that love me. And that's what matters. And I almost cried, man, when Terrence Crawford got on his knees. And it just was a surreal moment. It was an amazing moment in boxing. Everybody, the majority, everybody said Terrence was going to lose. You know how many people came into my face? You know how many people commented? You know how many people talk shit? You know how many people? But bro, when you see something, when you understand something, boxing's a game of percentages. Sorry, y'all. I just got a weird text. But anyways, when you do the math, that's kind of the word I want to say. When you do the math and you math it up, you realize that there's just a very, I don't want to say I was 100% sure, but the percentage was very high. And don't get me wrong, I was nervous going in that fight. But amazing fight nevertheless. God bless y'all. Appreciate you.